So, a couple of months ago, I found this challenge called the 100-Day Project Challenge. And, well, I think I love challenges because I had like 7 other big projects right in this time. So, why not do another one? And I thought that I would do like 100 portraits in 100 days because you were supposed to do something creative in this challenge. And how difficult can it be? One portrait a day, well, that should be a piece of cake, or? And today it's already day 90. And this video contains 50 portraits. But I don't see that as a failure because, well, 50 portraits in 90 days, that's pretty awesome anyway, right? So I have not given up. Not that I will make 100 portraits in 100 days, but at least I will do 100 portraits in 2020. So this will be the first video out of 2. So be sure that you press subscribe down here so you don't miss the sequel. So I set a few rules for myself because I'm not the type who like to read instructions, and this time I actually had the opportunity to decide for myself. So I told myself I would draw real people from photographs, or if I had the opportunity, of course I would draw them live. And I wanted models that they differed in appearance. Do you say that? You know, I wanted all colors, boys and girls, young and old. Preferably not the traditional model with pout lips and big deer eyes. And I want them to look relaxed. No big wolf grin or funny faces. The goal in every portrait is to get them as similar to the model as possible, but it does not have to be hyper-realistic. And every time I would try to find new ways to test myself and try new boundaries. And every time I did a portrait, I would post them numbered at my Instagram stories, and that was great because and I really couldn't cheat, right? I chose portrait mainly because when I was younger I always thought I would be a portrait painter of some sort. It turned out I'm not. But I also watched this, what's it called? The show on BBC that is called Portrait Painter of the Year. And I watched it on YouTube, and it was so inspirational. And I will try to add a link to that show down in the description. And shortly described, it's a bunch of artists that are professional and hobby painters that are competing when they make portraits. And it's really wonderful to see so many different styles and manners in such a short time, and there's an incredible number of painters with great talents out there. The first speed optical came really day 1. It is really difficult to find 100 models, even on Pinterest, which are not typical models in their 20s. I mean, they are really gorgeous, but I wanted to draw all sorts of people from around the world. I did my best, and now there is a folder on my Pinterest account with good models for drawing if you are looking to try it for yourself. I'll add a link to that down there. And I've only done a similar challenge like this before, and it was in October a few years ago. And I noticed that the approach you work on is quite similar to how I work as a freelance illustrator against a customer. If you're interested in trying the illustrator profession but not really know what you can do in time or how much pressure you can put on yourself, I strongly recommend you try some similar challenge. Now to the big question, did I learn anything from this? Well, the first answer came rather spontaneously as a big no. I don't think I gotten better at making portraits that looks like the model I'm using. I have not developed significantly in terms on how I use my pencils or brushes, and I don't think I really developed any new style. But when I started this video, I actually come up with some points that I feel will be helpful for me in the future, and I've written them down. Well, the black pen, the black felt pen really suits me. The thing I could develop there is to use like an, a pencil that is sensitive to pressure, so that the lines get thicker or thinner, because they are a bit static, the lines, when I use my fill pen. When I draw in watercolor, it takes much more time than I ever thought, so that's why you see so few of those here. It takes a long time for the paper to dry between paintings, so I simply did not have enough time to do those. And also when I draw in and use my graphite pencil, I need to find a clearer line there. So I will get better at that, I think. And in terms of how many pictures I really like, I would say about 1 out of 10 pictures is okay. 1 out of 11 pictures you don't even see here. I paint them and I draw them and throw it away. 1 out of 10 pictures I really don't want to show at all. But since I made a commitment to myself to number them 1 from 100, there are 1 out of 10 here that I feel a bit embarrassed about, but I guess maybe that helps somebody, so I show them anyway. If I feel bored or frustrated by what I'm doing, it will never be good. I must find something interesting in the face that I'm painting, and it could help to just do some warm-up before, and that warm-up could be so easy done just by making a shitty portrait and then throwing it away. So if I were to do this project all over again, I would make some improvements. So if I would say it would be really good to paint the same portrait over and over again. For example, you could do a self-portrait every day in 100 days. Or you can choose like a family member. And I also remember that in school we made like this molds from our faces and put different lighting on that. And you can also use a thing like that if you don't have a family member that you want to paint, or maybe they don't want to sit model for you every day. You could also choose to do the challenge if you go by bus to school or work every day. You could paint people from the bus. Maybe the bus driver will think it's amusing if you painted him every day. Yeah, so there's a number of things I would have done differently, because as you can see, there are many different faces going on here, and I use different techniques and so on and so on. So it's really hard to see the development from portrait number 1 to portrait number 50. Yeah. So now I have like 50 portraits left to do. And you should feel free to go to my Instagram account, Mika's Atelier. I put a link further down here. And you can follow the rest of your journey, or you could also tag a photo of yourself or anyone you want a portrait of, and you tag it with Mika Paint Me, and you do it in the Instagram account, not here. And I will post more info about that below. And so now we reach the end of this part of the journey. I just want to say, if you watch the whole video, good job! Good job! It's been a really long video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And be sure to press subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'm thinking about doing some sort of twist on the last 50 portraits. Maybe it will be self-portraits. I don't know yet. We'll see. Yeah, have a lovely, lovely day, and see you soon again. Bye!